Hello my dear students, welcome to computer science class. So in our previous video we have started with the new chapter, that is the control statements. So before we go on to the further topic, let us have a quick glance on what all the definitions and which selection statements we have started with. So we have, so what is this actually control statements are? The control statements are the ones that alter the sequence of flow of instructions. So as we know in the C++ programs, the compiler always execute the statements sequentially. That means that each of the instructions will be executed sequence, so that is one by one. So if we are using these control statements like selection statements, iteration statements and sequential statements, if we use these control statements, they will alter the sequence of the flow of instructions. That means what? The programs may not be executed sequentially, because if we are using the statement known as if statement or for statement or the if else statements, those will make the particular statements to execute based upon the condition. If the condition satisfies, the particular statements will be executed. If the condition is fail, then the particular set of instructions will not execute. So it is actually changing the flow of the sequence of instructions. That is what is control statements. Then we have seen what is a simple statement. Simple statement is a one that any input statement or assignment statement or the output statement, we can refer it as a simple statement. Then what is a compound or the block? Very important definition, children. This is compound or the block. So here it is an example for the simple statement. Now here it is an output statement. Now this is an example for the block or the compound statement. So therefore, what is a block or the compound statements? It is nothing but the set of statements or the group of statements which are being separated by the semicolon. Can you see here? And they are enclosed under the curled braces. Then we can refer it as a block or the compound statement. After this, we have seen what is actually the flow of control. The order in which the statements are executed in a program is said to be as the flow of control. Okay, then moving on to the these algorithm. This is the flowchart actually. What is this flowchart? Flowchart is the one which gives you the pictorial representation of any of the problem in the sense that is nothing but the pictorial representation of any of the program. So all these are nothing but the flowchart symbols which are being included for the input statement, for output statement, for the processing purpose. We are using the different symbols for the different purposes. Now here we are using oval. This marks the beginning or the end. Parallelogram for the input or the output. Okay, and then for the rectangle for the processing or the calculations. Okay, this is for decision making. Suppose if I'm using any if statement or if else statements, okay, then any kind of decision making if we are there, then we are able to use this rhombus. Okay, then we have predefined process. Suppose in my program if we have any sub program, then by using this particular symbol we can denote it. And then we have the for loop. Okay, for loop is also comes under the control statement. So that is for loop. If we have to represent, then I have to use this preparation. Then we have connector. Suppose if your program ends in one, if the flowchart representation ends in one paper and you want to show it as a continuation, in that case to show the continuation we are using the connector. And then we have the control flow. These arrows indicates how exactly the sequence will be shown in the flowchart. So that is why these all symbols are very important. Okay, then moving on to the if statement. Already we have seen this if statement is actually called as a one-way branching statement. Now before starting with the if statements to children, I just wanted to say about there is a question. Okay, how many types of control structures are there? So there are three types of control structures, or they may also ask the question how many types of control statements are there and name them. There are basically three types of control statements or the control structures are there. The first one is the sequential statements, the second is selection statements, and the third one is the iteration statements. In your textbook they have given types of control statements as only two, like selection statements and iteration statement, but actually there are three types. The first type is sequential statements, selection statements and iteration statement. Please make a note of this in your textbook also. In that, the first we are going to study about the selection statement. So what is this actually selection statement is? The name itself, selection, helps you to select the statement or the set of statements for the execution based upon the condition. This selection statement, it will help us to select, okay, maybe a single statement, or it will help you to select the group of the statements for the execution, and that too based upon the given condition. And this condition will always be evaluated either for the true or either for the false. It will be evaluated. Now, how many types of selection statements are there? There are actually we have 4 type of selection statements we are having. That is if statement, if else statement, nested statement and switch statement. So all these types comes under the, that is selection statements. Now let us know how exactly the if statement works. So now usually this is a simple if statement which is called as the one-way branching statement. One-way branching statement means through this way only we are able to, based upon, we have only single condition. If this condition satisfies, then these particular statements are being executed, else the control jumps to the, that is next statement. It will, so it will, control jumps to the next statement. Therefore we have only one way entry to execute these particular instruction, to execute these particular statements, that too based upon this particular condition. Therefore it is called as the one-way branching. Next question they will ask you, what is the purpose of using this simple if statement? Main important question it is, okay. So the main purpose of using the simple if statement is, it will help us to decide whether a statement or a set of statements to be executed or not based upon the given condition, wherein the given condition is being evaluated either for the true or false. So this way you have to write. Now here comes the general syntax of how to use the if statement. Now let me show you in a programming example here. Now look at here. How did I write this way? How I got to know, like after if I have to use the parenthesis, then specify the condition, close the parenthesis and then specify the statement. How could I get to know? Because of the, this is syntax. So syntax says that the if statement followed by parenthesis, therein that you have to mention the condition, close the parenthesis and write the true statement. Is that clear? That is what this is. Now this is fine only when we have only single statement as a true statement, or now if I have a block or the compound statement as a true statement, if this condition is true, all the set of the statements will be considered has to be as true. So this all are the true part which is related to this condition. In that case you have to use the flower braces. If this condition is false, automatically the controls jumps to the next statement, which can be considered as the false statement. I hope you are able to understand. Now for example here, if now I am considering the value of n is equal to 50. Okay. Now what I am specifying here, the condition, if n is equal to, this is equals to, this is not assignment operator, this is equals to symbol, so equality symbol it is. If n is equal to 100, what is the value of n? That is 50. If 50 equals to 100, then only the true part of the statement is what? That is number is 100. Else what happens? This statement will never get executed. In fact, the control jumps to the next statement. Now isn't it this if statement is helping you to decide whether this particular set of statement is to be executed or not, and that too depending upon this condition, wherein this condition is giving you the status as either as true or false. I hope you are able to understand. Okay, that's why here in case of general syntax, what happens, I may have only single statement as a true statement, or I may have the 2 or more 3 statements as a true statements. In that case, 2 or 3 statements, if they are to be considered as true statement, then they have to be represented in the form of block or the compound statement. I hope you are able to understand. So this is the general syntax. Now coming on to the flowchart. The same thing, how do I represent it in terms of the flowchart? So if, how I have to represent, this is a condition. To use the condition, which symbol of the algorithm we have, which symbol of flowchart we have to use it? That is the rhombus. This is a decision or the branching statement. Therefore, in the flowchart, we are using this particular symbol. Okay. So, instead of writing as if in flowchart, we are testing the condition. So, we are giving as is condition. Is condition. If this condition is true, then the statement 1 up to statement 2 and up to statement n, the statements will be executed. Okay, this considered as a true part of this particular condition, if condition. If it is false, that means if condition is doesn't satisfy, automatically the control jumps to the next statement. It will never execute these set of statements. Okay, so you may consider it as false, or you can even say that the control jumps to the next statement. Using next statement will be the appropriate one. Now this is when we have the block of statement as a true. Now what happens if I have a true statement as a single statement? In that case, if this condition satisfied, execute the statement 1 as a true part, else the control automatically jumps to the next statement. This arrow is indicating what? It indicates here. Arrow indicates the control flow. Now therefore I am telling that if this condition is satisfying, the control jumps to the statement. If this condition is not satisfying, or if this condition, if it is false, then the control jumps from this particular statement to the next statement. That's what. If this condition is true, these set of statements will be executed, else the control jumps to the next statement. Now this one you can clearly understand with the programming example, but before to that one question they may ask you, write the general syntax and the flowchart of the simple if statement. In that case, you need to write the general syntax as well as you need to draw this particular flowchart. Remember, draw the flowchart always by using the pencil, not with the pen. Is that clear? Okay. Then they may also ask you the 5 marks question. Explain the simple if statement with the syntax and flowchart. Okay. When they ask like this for 5 marks, you need to write the definition of what it is if statement. Okay, what is the purpose of using the if statement? Write this particular syntax, either this or this you can go for, no problem, because this is simple statement. This is when we are having block or the compound statement. Any one you can choose, and after that you need to write this particular explanation also. Just now I have given all the explanation here. When the condition is been true, where the control flows, the same thing only here it is given. So this explanation you have to write in the examination when they are asking for 5 marks. So here the condition gives 0, that means 0 means false, or 1 means that is true. If the condition is true, it has value 1 and the statement 1 will be executed. If the condition is false, it has a value as 0 and the statement 1 is not executed. That is what in respect to with this it is telling. If this condition is true, it will have the value as 1 and therefore statement 1 is executed. If the condition is false, then it will have the value as 0 and the statement 1 will not be executed at all. And then what? The expression in the sense condition must be always inside the parenthesis. Statement 1 will execute only when the condition is true. Sometime it may be block also. That means statement 1 will be executed only when condition is true. Sometime the statement 1 can also be replaced with a block. That means all the 3 statements is to be considered as a true part of the statement. And if the condition is false, then control skips the statement 1 and executes the next statement in the program, that is statement 2 if we are having. Is that clear to you? That means if this condition satisfies, this block is executed, else the control comes to the next statement here. In this case, what happens? It skips the statement 1 if the condition is false, and the control may go to the statement 2 as a next statement or the false statement. I hope I am very much clear enough. Moving on to the programming example. Here I have given the simple if statement, how we are writing in terms of the program. Now let us see the programming example itself. Now here we have a program known as to find the largest of two number using simple if. That means they are asking you to write the simple program by using the that is if statement. Okay, now we know that we are using the header files, that is iostream, because we need the functions that is cout, we need the objects that is cout and cin, and we are using conio.h because we are using the clear screen and getch, and we are using the iomanip because of endl and setw. But I think here in my program I didn't use any endl, but as per your text, you can use the endl also. If you are using endl, you include the iomanip, otherwise you need not include this iomanip header file at all. Now here the main function I have written, I think you know all these sections. Okay, then they are asking you to find the largest of two numbers. Obviously you need the two numbers, that means you need two variables, plus you need one more variable to store the answer. Therefore I have taken two variables of type integer here, a comma b, plus in order to store my answer I have taken one more variable known as large, and all the three of type as integer. Then we have used the clear screen. After that I am asking the user to enter the two numbers. Suppose the user have entered the two numbers as 230. So 200 value will be given to a variable, it will be given to a variable known as a, and 30 will be given the value to the variable known as b. Now what I am doing, I am assuming the a value to be the large. I am assuming a value to be as large. So in that case what happens, the value of a, what it is, 200, will be moved in a variable known as that is large. Later with the help of if statement I am comparing whether b is greater than large. I am comparing whether b is greater than large. So when I say the variable b, isn't it, it will be replaced with its value as 30. So whether 30 is greater than large just now it had the value as 200. So whether 30 is greater than 200? If so, what you have to rewrite the contents of a variable known as large. Therefore if b is greater than 200, that is if 30 is greater than 200, then move the value of b into the variable known as large. But look at here, whether 30 is greater than 200, no, the condition is failed. Condition is false. If this condition is false, definitely it will skip this statement and the control jumps to the next statement. Here the control jumps and it will print, cout largest number is. In which variable the largest number is? Whether it's a or b? No, it is actually the answer is in which variable? That is in the variable known as large. Therefore I am printing the large here, and then finally gets it. Now suppose I'll take a value to be as 30 and b values to be as 200. Then also program works. Okay, I'll assume a value to be as 30 and b value has to be as 200. Now what I am doing, initially I am assuming the value of a to be as large. So the value 30 will be moved in the large. I hope you are able to understand. Next step, what I am trying to do, I am checking if b is greater than large. What do you mean by b? B is having 200. Am I right? Whether 200 is greater than 30? Yes, the condition is true. If this condition is true, this particular true part of the statement will be executed. Always remember, soon after the if condition, whatever the next statement or the instruction, if it is written, then it will be considered as the true part of that particular if statement. Okay, it will be considered as true part of that particular if statement. Then if this condition is being failed, definitely the control moves to the next statement. So if this condition is fails, then only this particular statement is executed. Right now the b value is 200. Whether 200 is greater than 30? Yes, my condition satisfies. So therefore the value of b will be moved in a variable known as large. Now therefore large consists of what number? Large consists the value as 200 now. Therefore this true statement will be executed, and then again after that control again goes to the next statement, see out the largest number is, and it will print 200 is larger. Whether you take B as 30 or whether you take A as 200 or A as 30 and B as 200, anyway this program will ultimately will give you the largest of two number. Now look at here, the compiler always compiles and executes instruction by instruction. First the compiler will come to this, it will execute this instruction, next this, next this, next this, like this sequentially the compiler will execute the instruction. Therefore can I call them as a sequential can I call them as a sequential constructs? Yes or no? We have seen that first class only we have seen what are sequential structures. Sequential structures where the statements are executed sequentially in the order in which they are being written. Therefore I can say the sequential structures. Now what is control statements? In this program, which one is the control statement? If is a control statement. Because of using this control statement, isn't it we are altering the flow of instructions? Because actually as per given this condition, if it is satisfying, control goes to the next statement, else the control will skip and then the control comes to this particular next statement here. Isn't it you are changing the flow of these particular instruction? Therefore the definition of control statement was they are the statements that alter the sequence of flow of instructions. So therefore they are called as a control statements. Is that clear? Then we have also seen what is simple statement. Simple statement might be any input statement, it might be any output statement, or it might be any assignment statement. We can refer it as a simple statement. I hope it is very much clear. And last definition what we have seen, what is flow of control? Flow of control in the sense the order in which the statements are executed. Now which order? It is actually sequential order. At this point when it comes, it is we are using control statements. The order may change, the flow may change here, isn't it? So this is how exactly we are using the control statements. Okay, moving on to the one more example here. Let us enter the value as 230. Just now I have explained. I am assuming a value initially to be as large. Here we have taken the 50 and 5000 I have taken. So initially at this point I am taking. Okay, I am taking a value to be as 50 and b value to be as 5000. Initially I am assuming a value only to be the largest, and then I am comparing with the b value. Okay. Anything it might be, a value might be anything, you can assume it as to be as largest. Then compare that large value with a second variable, therefore b is greater than large I am telling. Okay, if so, move the value of b into the large and later you can print the value of the large. So this is how you can execute. Now students, I'll be executing the program and show you. Okay, so that you can clearly get an idea how the programs are getting executed. See here, this is C++ software it is. Okay, so I have already written a program known as the largest of two numbers, and the same program I have written. Now let me show you how to execute the program. First I have to go for compiling. Click on the compile, or you can go for this option, or Alt F9 is also fine. Okay, when I click on compile, look at here, it is telling me two errors. Now I can click here. Okay, so at this point of time E6RF by mistake it is print. Now this is unknown instruction, so I need to remove it, remove this. Understood? And then go for file and then save it again. Now again you go for compile. Like this, 0 errors must come. So this is compiling. What do you mean by compiling? Compiling is nothing but compiler will check for any syntax errors or any semantic error, like any if logic if I have written wrong or something like that. Now just look at this. I have removed this bracket. Now as per the syntax of simple if statement, what? If followed by the bracket followed by the condition, and I should have a closing parenthesis. Am I right? Now this one you see it, and then now I'll compile. It is showing me one error. Click on that. What it is showing here? At the line 10, if a statement is missing bracket. Now this is what it is, semantic error. Semantic error is nothing but if we have not written any syntax error properly, syntax if we are not writing, then it is nothing but the semantic logic errors. Sorry, that is syntax error. I have missed out the parenthesis, right? That is a syntax error. Semantic in the sense if any logic I have written it wrong. If I have written the logic wrong, then it will give an error, that is semantic error. Similarly, see here, if I don't give this semicolon, okay, and then I'll compile, again this is what it is, a syntax error, because as per the C++ programming rules, every statement should end with a semicolon, but I have removed here. Look at here, it is clearly giving the statement missing semicolon. Okay, so therefore click the cursor where the semicolon is missing and give the semicolon, and then do save your program, okay, and then run. Now you again compile, you will get a 0 errors, understood, and then you can go for run the program. See here, I am getting enter the two numbers because this is the first cout statement. I may enter here as 345 and then space I'll give 67. So these are the two numbers I'm trying to enter. Then when I see, after giving that input, I pressed enter. After that I'm getting an output as largest number is 345. Is that clear? So therein internally what happens? The variable A will be accepted as 345, B will accept as 67. Initially A value will be considered to be as large, and then B value 67, if condition will be used, if B is greater than large, that means it is comparing whether 67 is greater than 345. The condition was failed, therefore it didn't move the value of B to the large, it didn't move. In fact, it directly went to the printing statement as largest number is 345. Similarly, can I give the different one more output? Shall I show with a different value? Here run. Here I'll give it here as 10, and one more I'll give the output as 1000. That means I'm assuming A value to, I'm giving the value of A as 10 and I'm giving the value of B to be as 1000, and then I'm pressing the enter. When I press enter, it is giving me the largest number as 1000. I hope students we are able to understand. Okay, next we shall move on to the different program here by using the simple if statement only. Yeah, the next program is to find the largest, smallest and the second largest of three numbers using the simple if statement it is. Now previously we have seen the largest of two numbers. Now we are seeing largest, second largest and the smallest numbers. Using simple if only I have to write the program. So therefore at least you need three numbers, three variables you need to find. Having the three input at least to give, you need the three variables, plus you need a variable known as largest to hold the largest value, second largest variable to hold the second largest, and then we have the smallest variable to hold the smallest variable. Then as usual, clear screen, I'm asking the user to enter three numbers there. Right now I have from the keyboard I have given 5, 10 and 9. So when I gave that, A will take 5, B will take 10 and C will take as the 9. Previously how I have assumed the value of A to be as largest, similarly here also I am assuming the A value to be as largest and even assuming the A value to be the smallest. Now you will get an idea. When I am assuming A value to be as largest, automatically you will get an idea. I need to compare the B value with the large as well as we need to compare the C value with the large, and then we can determine the largest variable. Am I right? So same way here also I am assuming A value to be as largest and I am assuming A value to be the smallest, and first we shall write the code for to find the largest, then we can see for the smallest. Now here I am comparing if B is greater than largest. Previously the variable I have taken as large, now I am taking it as largest. That is left to you. Okay, because these are the variables. Variable name can be anything, but only they should be according to the rules of the identifier. Understood? So if B is greater than largest, then move the value of B in the variable known as largest. Then the true part of this if condition is this particular statement. Suppose as per this, what is the value of b? B value is 10. Whether 10 is greater than 5? Yes, my condition is true. The condition is true. Since the condition is true, the true part of the statement will be executed. Therefore, the value of b will be moved in the largest. Now, what the new value of largest variable will hold? It will hold as 10. Again, the next control comes to the next instruction. Now, if I need to compare again this largest value with the C also, right? So, because they are asking you to find the largest of 3 numbers. So, it is searching whether C is greater than largest. What is the value of C? C value is 9. Whether 9 is greater than largest? No, the condition fails. Now, what is the true part of this if statement is this particular? What will be the for if this condition, if it is not satisfying, automatically the control will jump to the next statement. It will skip this statement, control jumps to the next statement. Therefore, here since my condition is failed, the control will automatically comes to this particular statement. By this time we got the what is the value of largest value here as 10 we got. Now coming to this part, I have already assumed the a value to be as the smallest here, children. Now I need to compare this a value, okay, that is the smallest value, with the b and c. Therefore, similar code will be similar. I am checking if b is less than smallest, move the value of b into the variable known as smallest. Okay, so now check here. What is the value of b? B is 10. What is the value of smallest? Smallest is 5 because I have moved the value of a to the smallest. Whether 10 is less than 5, my condition is false. Since this condition is false, the true part of the statement is skipped. In fact, the control jumps to the next statement. What is here condition? If c is less than, what is the value of c? C is 9. Whether 9 is less than 5, condition is again false. Therefore, the value, this true part of this if statement will be skipped. And then control automatically jumps to this part. Therefore, the value of the smallest will never be changed. In fact, the value of the smallest will remain 5 as it is. Understood? Only if the if part of the statements are true, then the very next statement will be executed, else the control will jump to the next statement. This is what I was trying to explain it in the flow chart as well as in case of the syntax. Now this was how we were able to find the largest and the smallest. Next we have the formula to find the second largest. So this is a formula, that is a plus b plus c minus the largest plus the smallest, that is a plus b plus c, what we 5 plus 10 plus 9 minus 10 plus 5, that is 24 minus 15. 24 minus 15, what you got? The answer is 9. So that 9 will be moved into the second largest, and then we are printing the, that is the largest number is largest, second largest number is the second, because all the answers are being stored in which variables? They are stored in largest, they are stored in second largest, am I right? And then the smallest is being stored here. So I am printing it as a smallest, and therefore I'll end my program with the getch statements. So this is how, students, we are going to use the simple if statement. Let me show the execution of this particular program for you all. Yes, children, here is a program. Okay, now this is a program, the same program what I have shown. Okay, this is the same program. Let me execute this program. Okay, now see here, I'll go for the compilation first. I got the 0 errors. So once the compilation gives me 0 errors, I can go for the to run the code. Okay, run. Okay, it is asking me to enter the numbers. So I'll give 23, then 4 I'll give, and then I'll give 56. So this is, I'll give the input. After that, I'll just press the enter. Once I press the enter, I'm getting the output as smallest as 4, second largest as 23, and the largest as 56. I hope you are able to understand. Now let me show with the different output here. Okay, once again, to go for the second output, again you have to go for run here. Click here, and then now give the value as I'll give 122, I'll give as here 234, and here I'll give as 700. Any value you can give as input. Then you see here, smallest I got 122, second largest is 234, and the largest is 700. Okay students, I hope you are able to clearly understand how to make use of the simple if statement. Just now I have explained the program. The same way here also the execution takes place. So we shall meet in the next video with a few more programming examples on simple if, and then we shall study about the simple if statement. I hope students you are able to understand and follow the concepts. Thank you students. Be safe.